Welcome to Casa de Maria. This is a space for writers, artists, and cultural storytellers who believe that our words carry memory, meaning, and responsibility. Here, we gather to reflect on craft, honored lived experience, and explore ethical pathways to publishing and creative growth. I am your host, Dr. Vilma Luz Cabán, founder of Casa de Maria Publisher, and I am grateful you are here.
Hello, welcome back to Write, Reflect, Reimagine, the podcast where we explore the stories behind the storytellers and celebrate the voices shaping our communities through the written word. Today's episode is in Alta, Puerto Rico, and my guest is in Connecticut. And through the magic of Zoom and Zoom recording, we will be able to join and talk about the work that he is doing. Now, throughout this season, our conversations have featured some remarkable women whose books have challenged, inspired, and deepened our understanding of identity, resilience, and community. Today, I am delighted to broaden that conversation by welcoming our first Latino male author to this podcast. Now, while Latino communities have always been rich in storytelling, Latino men remain less visible in many publishing spaces, particularly when sharing deeply personal stories about family, caregiving, vulnerability, and emotional growth. Their voices matter. Every story they chose to publish adds another important thread to the tapestry of our collective experience. I first met today's guest at the Hartford Puerto Rican Parade while we were representing a collective of Latino published authors. The author, Daisy Plaza, of the book I Did It For Her, was the group organizer, and throughout her generous efforts, we were a part of celebrating Latino authors in that parade. Amid the celebration of culture, language, and heritage, we connected through a shared belief that our stories deserve to be written, published, and preserved for future generations. Today's guest is Emilio J. Vargas, a Puerto Rican author born in Ay Bonito, Puerto Rico, whose journey has taken him from humble beginnings in Calle to a career in broadcasting as a radio host and voiceover artist, and ultimately to becoming an advocate for foster care and adoption in Connecticut. His writing reflects the same qualities that define his life's work: compassion, humor, vulnerability, and hope. His memoir, Growing Up Together, The Chronicles of an Unexpected Family, shares the unexpected journey that led him to fatherhood through foster care and adoption, reminding us that family is often built through love, commitment, and the courage to embrace life's unexpected turns. Now, Emilio is extending that message to an even younger audience. And on July 30th, International Friendship Day, he will release his new children's book, I Belong, This Is Me, written to encourage self-worth, belonging, kindness, and confidence. This book reminds every child that they have an inherent value and that who they are is something to be celebrated. Today, we will explore the stories behind both books, discuss fatherhood, advocacy, Puerto Rican identity, the importance of representation in publishing, and why creating spaces where children and adults alike know they belong. It is one of the most important stories that we can share. Please join me as I welcome Emilio J. Vargas.
Oh my God, B, thank you so much. What a great introduction. Actually, let's just leave it like that. Thank you. Find my book in Amazon. Because
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
it was great. I want that. I want that to put it everywhere. Thank you so much for that
You're
introduction.
very welcome. And that's why we're recording this today. This season one, we've only done audio podcasts. We are going to launch this in our YouTube channel that we have for Write, Reflect, Reimagine, because this is an important day. This is our first Latino male author, and
Thank
it's
you for
something to
that.
celebrate. And so that's why this is going to live in the ether.
Thank
So
you for that
Amelia,
honor. Thank you.
Amelia, before we talk about your books, I'd love for our listeners to get to know you. Now, you've had a career in broadcasting, advocacy, and publishing. Now, looking back, what thread connects all of those chapters of your life?
Eh, if you see, it's crazy because when I was a child, I was tremendous, and and my mom used to ground me a lot. So I remember that I have this radio on my room to hear music. I love music. You can see everywhere is music, and so I like this. You're in Puerto Rico, maybe you know this radio station, Stereo Tempo, no,
Yes.
96.6. And there was this guy, Rey Agosto. He got this beautiful voice, really deep, really nice. And he introduced the music and he say, "Oh, this time we're gonna hear this, and that." And I love that. And I thought the guy lived in that place. So I have a little recorder and I put a cassette inside and I used to record myself doing the same thing that he did. And so raising, I was looking forward to do it, but never in Puerto Rico. I'm from Calle. And so it was really hard to get into San Juan. And my family doesn't have the way to get me into San Juan, and so it was really hard for that time. When I moved to Sidra, and so I found a radio station there that they gave me the chance to do some gimmicks. But it was from a ground boy. I found a boy
I
sitting
love
bored in his imagination, and also I was a breaking dancer. So that's all the thing. Everything's like link. I was always looking to do something in arts.
So radio is in our blood. My biological father, it was not only one of the very first radio personalities in Radio Guado at the time when they was AM before FM. And he was also an executive producer for radio. Of course, I didn't learn much about that. That's the sweet tea of my life. You'll learn that in my book, but I didn't discover that until much later in my life that radio was in our blood. So now we're in this space where we're reaching audiences, trying to captivate and instill a love of music, of the arts, of the creative. How did that marry into maybe transition you to writing?
So actually, when the social media begins, do you remember High Five and there was blogs? They I It was awful writing by then, and I tried to blog like days by days.
Now, did you always see yourself becoming an author?
So on Facebook, I began writing stories. Anything that happened to me. I remember once I went to this pincho place and they tried to charge me more than than it worth. And I went to the Facebook and I wrote a story. Like this morning, I start driving and I start working. Da da da. And then I was thinking that I have one of pinchos, so I drove to the first place that I saw pinchos, and I make this story. And I told at the end and I add like sarcastic things like this thing, this other thing, this looks like, this is like, this is it. So people start laughing, and they always in the comments told me, next time this, next time that. And I thought, okay, you like my writing, so let me try, keep trying it. So it begins like a hobby. Like I want to say this, but I want to say it funny. And I put too much humor in everything. You can read it. You never.
Well, what you captured their attention. You know what? Many times when a reader stays glued, it's because they can identify and
Exactly. It's
personally connect to the writing. And that's why we're so happy that you put out your memoir of your experience, because when I think about, that moment that you realized that this isn't just my story
yeah.
anymore. This needs to become a book. When did that moment happen for you?
It happened when it was like a lot of pages. And because it for me, I was looking to do a script for a YouTube video, like a short, maybe 20 minutes, explaining how was the process in DCF. I was a foster dad, then I became
So
adopted.
for our audience who's not in the United States, because we are actually broadcasting 21 different countries,
Oh,
87 cities worldwide. DCF is the Department of DCF,
Department Children's and Families.
Children and Families. So that is the kind of the entity that helps support children who are displaced, who need family support.
Yes. So because what happened during that time that I was learning a lot. It's everything on the book, everything that happened, and it's chronologically. That's why the chronicles, because it's from the beginning
Yeah.
to the adoption, and so everything that is there that when I started writing and writing, I want this, I want to see this, and that, and I present it to my wife. Hey, listen, can you read it and let me know if you like it? And she said, no, that's too much. That's too much. Too many pages. That's a book, and I have no time. I was like,
Well, that was the book. I love it.
that was
And it became the Chronicles. Wow.
exactly. That was like a book.
Now, it wasn't the Chronicles of Narnia. It was the Chronicles of your journey
Exactly.
as a father, right? Seeking to support young people in finding a home. Now, was writing it healing, difficult, or a little bit of both?
Is I mean, when I began as a script, I began in 2018, like the idea. Then I have most of the pages on 2019, and came the COVID, the pandemic came.
Oh, that's right. 2020. Yes.
Exactly. And I was so bored at home. We were working from home. And so I did everything like in 2020. But it was the part that because actually this picture, this is the book, this picture, it was the last weekend that we gonna have with her. So that was why I picked this picture. And so that was during
I didn't
2020.
realize that the photo was biographical. I didn't realize that. Wow. I love that because, we think about writing as something that's isolated. We envision writers off somewhere hiding out. But at the same time, it sounds like writing was something communal for you.
Yeah.
I hear that you mentioned your wife. I'm here in Toalta, Puerto Rico, so you're gonna hear the local dogs and the coquis and the gallos.
I
Forgive
love
me.
that. I feel at home.
So we had a young person, being encouraging, and now we have a dog right now, probably running after the iguanas outside that are trying to get the plátanos that are growing on my plátano plant. But anyway, at this point, I was thinking about it's something communal, right? And as the communal experience, writing was an escape for you, especially in the time when it was so challenging. That's a marker in our civilization, in the process of what. I remember doing a lot of writing during that season. It was a time where it was cathartic, writing was an escape for me, and it was a way to process. So I'm glad that you had this and that you were doing it a little also in family. And it was part of the work that helped you understand this process as you were chronicling it. Now, one of the themes that connects both of your books is this idea of belonging.
Okay.
Now, right, like right now, that iguana does not belong in my yard, and that dog is letting me know you don't belong here. So please forgive me. But this
But
is
they good
not a
fry.
complicated space.
The
Pardon?
iguanas are really good fry. So you're
Yes.
serve yourself.
Now, now, circling back to this theme of belonging, through your experiences as a father, what have children taught you about love, family, and what it truly means to belong?
Vilma, I'm still growing. That's why I picked first the name growing up together, because the first time that I get into the DCF training, I start growing. Like this is a new world because it's a world. Foster care, adoption, kinship, relative, all of that is a different world. And the fact of that is, and it's like invisible. The body
Hmm.
looks to these problems. I mean, there is many problems happening, and so. But in the other hand, I wanted to share like as soon as I get my first daughter, and I was sharing this with some friends on this conference that we had, and because we were talking about from adoptive to biologically, and I asked them, what do you feel? What do you felt the first time that you saw your son? Man, I felt this, I felt that, I felt that, I felt this, that. I told them, you saw that coming out from your woman. I saw mine coming out from a car, and I felt all of that you told me. The same feelings. It's the same feeling. It's the same. So that's why I'm growing. I want to learn how to be a father. I want to learn how to be a good man, how to be a good husband. And that's why I changed a lot of things. I stopped doing many other things, and because and I realized that I'm a different man now. So I'm still growing, learning, yeah,
Yeah.
from the good,
And
the
your
bad,
family, yeah, your
yeah, from the,
family seeing you
yeah.
go through this growth. You know, the person who was sitting next to you that you were like, I'm getting a little nervous. Who was that? Tell us about that person.
That is my daughter Emma, and she's like air queen. So when I'm doing things like this, I get nervous. Like, please don't do one of your things. But she's great. She's a very kind girl. They went to this camp and they went popular. Everybody comes to me to tell me many great things about them, how great they are, how educated they are, how kind and good with other people. And I was like, oh my God, so it's working. Because I mean that was all my fears, because and it's in my book. I didn't want to be even biologically. I didn't want to have kids at all. And so my wife, yeah, she wanted, but so that's why we came into this.
So, so coming back to this idea of what it truly means to belong, I talk about it in our introduction. What are you learning about this process of belonging?
Is I If I can tell you, and that's why this book exists. If I can tell you, I never wanted to belong anywhere. Never wanted, like, I want to do my stuff. I want to do what I like, but I don't care if I belong or not. And after the that I have my family, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a very good family. I came from a very Puerto Rican family together. They stayed for 62 years together. My dad just passed 2 months ago. And they were great parents, but they didn't have the tools that we have now. And I can blame them because they don't have the tools. Their parents didn't have the tools, and but they did but they can reach. So that was my fear. Like, no, and I don't want to belong anywhere,
And
because if I want to leave,
becoming a parent doesn't come with a manual. It doesn't come with instructions, directions.
exactly. But
Yes.
my thought it was like, because if I want to leave, I can live quietly and nobody get hurt. But my wife doesn't think like that. She wanted to get married. She wanted like a real.
You want a family, yes.
Exactly. And she told me, if you don't put a ring on my hand, I'm not gonna move from Puerto Rico.
A Beyonce got to put a ring on it, right?
Exactly. And that was the one. I was like, okay, girl.
Well, love is radical. Like
Yeah, it is.
loving is a radical act. You will do things that you never even imagined. You pursue things that you didn't even think you desired, and it's all because in the name of love, it activates this radical act of devotion that you didn't anticipate or expect. You know,
There is
thinking,
I'm sorry to
thinking about
interrupt you. There is a part on my book that just come in my head now, that explain the first family hug that I ever had in my life. Because as a Puerto Rican, we grew in a family that a man doesn't show love. We understand that. There is too much machismo and that, and moms sometimes they show love, but not. You need to feel love from every corner of your house. So I wrote in my book, one thing that I wrote in this one, everything's linked, because the first time that I felt like four people were hugging me, I was like,
wow.
what's it? So that in there is when I understand that I belong to somewhere, that there is a place that I can come back, that there is a place waiting for me, that there is a place that needs me. And so I realized that. And so there is many kids that I see daily in
Hmm.
my job
I,
that,
I will tell
doesn't
you,
have that.
when I think about what you just shared, is so vulnerable. And our men need spaces to be able to share those moments. That there's power in that release, power in that moment of realization and declaration.
Yeah,
And it should not be wrapped in shame, or it should not be wrapped in it's not enough. So I admire your
thank
courage.
you.
I admire your bravery. And I don't know about you, but when I published my first book, I was like, I think it's one and done. I'm not ready to do it. I can't do that
Me
again. That's so hard.
too.
I right now I'm playing with the idea of publishing a poetry collection, but I'm not going to lie, I am terrified. And to see
Me
you
too.
ready on July 30th, how exciting, on International Friendship Day, you're going to release I Belong, This Is Me. Wow, like good for you. Now,
Thank
why
you.
was this the right story to write at this point in your journey? Why do you think it was the right story?
No, actually, when I translate, because the first one, and this is something that I want to really want need to share. The first one is in Spanish. It's full in Spanish. Actually, it's the first book about foster care ever wrote in every United States about foster care in Spanish. All the foster care books around the country are in English and then translated
Good
to
for
Spanish.
you. Good
So
for
this is the
you.
first one, and so after that, I told to my wife, you know what? I'm never gonna pass to this process again. I lost weight. Because I was so. It was my first, like my firstborn, and
Yeah.
I was so nervous. I lost weight on a lot of things, and I say, you know what? I'm not gonna. This is not gonna happen again. But it happened. Avenue of Dreams, that is an event that we do every year in my agency we give prom dresses and tuxedos. We do haircuts, makeovers, stuff like that for teenagers. So you can I saw those faces, with the hoodie on, with the phone all the
With
time,
such
looking
pride,
down.
right?
Yeah,
With
just
such
looking down. I don't
pride.
want to be here. I don't belong to here. That I saw that. And I remember when I was on my 13 years old, and I wasn't like that because I wants to do everything that I'm seeing here. So we start talking to them, to the girls, to the boys. I'm in charge of the men's room. And after, like, let's say 4 hours, 5 hours that they have the tuxedo on, a new haircut, a fresh haircut, everything made fresh makeover, everything, they start shining. The confidence start brighting like crazy. And I remember that because every year we do videos for DCF to see the event, and it's all in tears. So that year I took the song This Is Me from the Greatest Showman.
Yes,
and,
yes, I'm familiar
and
with
that
it. Yeah.
when I heard that song, I heard it again and again and again and again. I was like, oh my God. And then I'd say, okay, let's go to the paper.
Yeah.
And
And you
then
crystallized it, you
it's
grabbed it.
so all that
And ah,
experience for
ah,
those kids, from my kids, from my childhood that I always wanted. That's why I never wanted to belong somewhere, because as a child, you always want to belong somewhere. And I always wanted to have a girlfriend, and I was too short for the girls.
we want to belong. So like if I could think about a good question here, if every child that could leave your book, like if every child could leave your book with one message,
Yeah.
what would you hope that message would be? Like, what is the takeaway message that they walk away with?
The message that and again, my dad doesn't show love, like, because man, that kind of man didn't show love. But my dad showed me something really great, and it was wisdom and self-esteem. He showed me that you can do whatever you want. You are capable. You can. And if you fail, you can get up again and do it again and again and again. It doesn't matter how many times. And that my dad gave me that, and that's one of the powerful tools I ever had in my life. I I think, and I was talking to my wife, that I did whatever I wanted. I'm turning 45 now, and I'm regretting nothing from my past.
Exciting.
And
Wow.
exactly, and I always live like, I want to do this. Some days say I wanted to go on the radio. I went to the radio. you know,
So the message is you could do it, right? You
exactly. It's like, doesn't matter
go.
I mean, if you're in foster care, it doesn't matter what that paper say. You're different. You're a different person. What that paper said is not you. It's like when you are in school and you're struggling in relations, like trying to get into friends that you like, or the kind of friends that got your kind of music and they don't like you. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, because you are there, you belong to there. If they don't like you, doesn't care, because you still belonging. And it's
Yeah.
you don't have to change, you don't have to act. It's just you. That's
The
it.
human condition is one where it's almost like we're immediately designed to see what's different. It's almost counterintuitive to go with how is everything the same. We always come at something, how is something different? And when I think about this season, it's featured some incredible Latina authors, all very different. And today, you being our first Latino
Thank
male
you.
author, why do you think it's important for Latino men to tell stories that embrace this type of vulnerability, this caregiving, and this very raw emotional honesty? Why is it important?
Every story matters, bad, good, anything, because it's a lesson behind everything. It's like, I read, and then I saw the series about Pablo Escobar. So people told me, "What you reading that?" I mean, and I'm like, I like mafia stuff, and this is real. But the thing is, at the end,
It's
it shows
nonfiction.
you something. Exactly, it's not fiction. It shows you how you learn something new. And my dad always says the. Let me say, I can translate that because it said in Spanish.
Say it in Spanish. We can try to translate it. Sure.
Es like he always, mi papá decía que el hombre si el hombre no tiene conocimiento, no tiene nada. It's like if you have no knowledge at all, you get nothing in your life.
And you have
And
nothing.
how you get, he always say, how you get knowledge. And that's why he forced me to read 20 minutes a day. I remember that. And he told me that's the only way that you can have knowledge.
I love it. Well, at Casa de Maria Publisher, we often say that our stories deserve to be written, published, and preserved. Now, what would you say to someone, especially a Latino man, who has a story inside of him, but doesn't believe anyone would want to read it? What would you say to him?
There is not a stupid story. There is not, because our lives are not stupid. I'm sorry about my language, but I don't find another
And
word to
I
say.
receive you just as you are, and that's
Exactly.
part of the journey. Yes.
Every journey. I mean, if you want to write a book about building houses, I don't know how to build a house. I probably are going to learn something from you, and it's like I went to this event that I love on last Saturday, Right to Rise. I saw our friend Daisy there, and many people get their books like from like 20 pages to 100, right? But
Right.
probably that 20 pages have more to say than the 100 pages do. So, I
Yeah.
mean, books are knowledge, and your story matters. If you wanted to share it, you never know who you can help. It's like I always thought that sharing my story, and I asked to my wife, I asked many people, do you think that we want to do this? Because it's like open the door for my house, like an open house, and come everybody inside. And so she didn't want it, but because we were like ashamed of what we're doing about fostering adoption. And I felt like I was less man because I don't have biological kids. It's like many things.
These
But
are really true, raw, unfiltered experiences. And that's part of our human story. That's
yeah,
part of our
but
human
it
connection.
happened. It happened today that someone called me, and she shared time with my daughter Emma too. And she told me I was thinking for years to be a foster mom, and I wasn't ready. After your book and the time that I shared with your daughter, I
Oh,
am calling these. Look, I'm cutting down now because that makes me really proud. So that means that house is open.
right.
You know
That
what I'm
house is
saying? The
open.
house is open. No, I mean,
Oh,
one house
it's like,
open
yeah,
is
one
right
house
there.
open is a home
I'm
for
sorry.
children. And I love it. I love it because what you did was you made a contribution. It's
Exactly.
something that's lasting, it's impactful, and the ripple effect of that change, you're not going to see it. Maybe your daughters will see it in their future, and their children will see it in the future. And that's the beautiful contribution because you chose to share that story. As I listened to your journey, I couldn't help but notice that both of your books, although they're written for different audiences, they seem to share that same heartbeat of
Yeah.
helping people know that they belong.
But this one, actually, Vilma, this one is not just for kids. This is for
Tell me
parents.
about that. Tell me
This is
about it.
this is for parents, and this is for your kids. I mean, when I realize that I'm a dad, what kind of dad I want to be? Because I mean, I don't want to. Okay, my dad showed me something, but I learned something on the streets. I have. Puerto Rican wife, and you know how spicy they are.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I can't help.
and so I mean, I lost it. I lost it.
No,
And
but it's the connection that you felt that you were making this book not only for children, but actually their
exactly, it's
families.
for
Yeah.
because what kind of that I wanted, and I didn't want it to be this drunken. That's why I stopped drinking. I don't want to see my daughters watch me smoking cigarettes all the time. That's why I quit smoking. It's like I want to, because I learned that girl. I have two girls, and that girls always look up to their dads, always. And I found in my 45 years, many people that, and there are studies about this, that they, or I mean, me too, probably, they found a person that looks like they dad, and they get attraction because they reminds that man that raised them. And
That's love. That's anchoring. That's
exactly.
devotion and commitment. So yes, you're absolutely right. I love that. I love that the book is not only for the children, but for the adults.
For the
Now,
adult in many other things. I mean, I was a kid that I had my dad in, but I didn't hear those words. I didn't hear that constantly. You know, my dad showed me that. He taught me. He never told me. He taught me how to do it. He showed me, okay, get up, let's do it again. But he never told me. I never hear it. I never get that hug that told you everything is gonna be okay. Let's do it again. You know. So now with this book, that the child is telling you, and you are reading it, you're gonna feel like you are that child. You know,
oh,
because
very
you're saying it. You're saying it. I belong. This is me. I'm not gonna say all the poems, but it's you're saying it. And
much.
once you're saying it and you
Oh,
realize it,
get my book and knowing that this is really it's a dual lens, you know.
yeah,
I love it. Now at Casa de Maria Publisher, we often say that our stories they deserve to be written, published, and preserved, right? Was there someone that told you that you should do this?
no,
Wow,
it
you're an
was,
outlier. You're an outlier. This is
yeah, it
amazing.
was, it was like, I mean, my brother Joshua, it was the second. My wife told me she didn't want it to read it, but my brother Joshua told me you should do the book, not a video. He told me that, but I
Ah.
was all this time, how?
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand that because when we think of writing, we think of manuscript, we think of manuscript as this big monster that
Yeah.
we have to put away. And I get it. You know, many people think publishing begins with that manuscript, but I think it really begins much, much, much earlier.
Yeah,
When
growing up together, creciendo a la par, and this is me. This is me. We're a little more quick because growing up together started it began as a script. Then I have to look for another way to add all that stuff like a narrative and stuff like that because now it's book. Then I have a very disorganized manuscript, and I was looking for help. Like I
I
really don't know
love that
what I
you
did here.
went through a process and you did it in community. And that's what is so important that you did that and that you're modeling that for us, right?
Yeah.
But for someone who's on the edge, who's thinking, you know, I don't know about this. I don't even know if my story. I mean, I know so many exemplary men in my life that their stories are extraordinary, that they just that I wish they could carve time in their busy lives. That's why I give you a lot of credit that you did this to be able to release that. That's a gem that you give to the world,
Yeah.
you know. And I want to thank you for
Yeah.
releasing this gem. We're going to put in our podcast description the link so that we can do a pre-order. Can people pre-order your book
Yeah,
now?
definitely.
Okay, we're going to put that in there. We're also going to put your website for your author website, your social media handles. We'll definitely do that.
Yeah, if
And
you contact me by in social media, I dedicate it and I then design it to you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
That's
to
wonderful.
everybody.
You are so responsive. You're so connected. They can meet you in September at the
Yeah.
Puerto Rican parade in Hartford,
Are you
Connecticut.
coming?
I'm coming. I'm coming
All
in from
right.
so I will be
I
with
hope
that
I'm
group.
gonna be better from my back.
No, you will. You will. And we're going to have fun because that day was all about fun. It was great to see you there in community. And we're going to share this information. And I'm so happy you were with us today in Write, Reflect, Reimagine. But
Thank
before we
you.
go, I love your personality. I feel like people got to know you a little bit more. But wait, let's do a quick. I did this with my last speaker and they loved it. A lightning round. Okay. So quickly, I'm going to shoot some questions for you. You ready?
All right, let's go.
And whatever comes to your heart. Okay,
All right.
ready? Coffee or tea while writing?
Coffee, always.
Ah,
Y
okay.
negro.
Café negro. Booyah, booyah. All right, here we go. Morning writer or night writer?
Morning.
Ah, okay. Tell me one book that every parent should read.
This is me.
Yes. One word you hope readers associate with your work.
I had to get that.
One word you hope readers associate with your work.
Oh my God. That's heavy. Have to be one.
Yes, just one. One word that you hope readers can connect with your work. That they see this word, they think of you.
Humor, maybe.
All right. So now I dare say this. I dare ask, what's next after I belong? This is me.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. All right. This is gonna probably sounds crazy, but
Never,
Leo
never.
Leo takes life. So my daughters reads a book and they ask for someone like let's say Roberto Clemente. So we are in the table having dinner, and so they ask, "Oh, I heard about this character in my school named Roberto Clemente." Okay, yeah, man. I say this is Roberto Clemente. So at night, they still having doubts and they want to know more about Roberto Clemente. So Leo comes out from the book. Leo,
Oh,
the name of this kid is Leo. And Leo comes out from the book. He has golden sneakers. So Leo stumbled the his feet on the floor, and he opened a golden portal, and they travel in time to see Roberto Clemente, but not Roberto Clemente in Pittsburgh. They go to Carolina when he was a child and he was 8 years old, with doubts, with fears, with probably I'm not good enough, and that kind of stuff. And then you see, listen, this is Roberto Clemente. He got fears, he got doubts, he thought he wasn't good enough, and look what he was.
well, it sounds like there's a book series on the way. Am I catching that right? Yes? Yes?
Yeah, Leon
Oh,
the Golden Sneakers.
I love it. Oh man, Emilio, I'm so excited for you. I want to
Thank
thank
you.
you. I want to thank you for spending this
Thank you.
time with us.
No, it's kids. I mean, I saw my daughters. I know that how let's not say privilege, because I mean we are all privileged. Let's
Yeah.
say how loved they are,
I
how
want them to feel loved, and they
yeah,
are
how
so
guide
loved.
they are. The good, how they know the good, the bad, everything, and they know where they belong. They know that they are not blood relative with me. They don't have relationship with us, but they know that they belong to here. That this is their family, and this is all what I want. That every child
Yeah.
find a family first if they are in foster care, but child's biological childs that is struggling, because I know how childhood is. I mean, teenage ages. In my time
Mm.
was hard. I don't want to know how it is now.
not easy. It isn't
Exactly.
easy.
In the world that we live is cruel. So anyways that you, if you feel down, it doesn't matter, because that was always the thought that I have. I mean, probably when I was 13, 14 years old, my wife didn't like me back then.
Yeah,
But
but you have now
I told her when I
you have
was
found each
13
other.
years old, you will be my girlfriend someday. I told her that.
Very proud of you because you didn't give up and you stayed the course. I love
Yeah,
that.
but
Well, thank
that is all.
you.
That it's like, I mean,
Thank you.
and we hear it about empowerment all the time, feminine empowerment, masculine empowerment. But yes, it's good. We need
I love
empowerment.
it.
Yes,
I
but
appreciate it. I appreciate it so
Childs,
much. Thank you for having this conversation with us. You reminded us that the most meaningful stories aren't always the obvious ones or the loudest ones. And sometimes they're found in those beautiful, quiet moments of saying yes to a child,
thank you. That's
showing up, showing up for a family, offering encouragement, or simply helping someone believe that they belong. Wow. I'm so proud. I'm so grateful that you have joined us today. You know, this work here in Puerto Rico has not been easy, you know, because our mission is about supporting marginalized and underrepresented authors. And a part of that mission is also encouraging people that, yes, you can.
yeah.
I think that really they're holding back because they're a little nervous. And as an independent publisher, I often think about like the stories that never make it to the page because someone just decides that work's not important enough to tell.
Yeah.
Well, today, Emilio, you reminded us
Thank
that's
you.
simply
Thank
not
you for
true.
that. Thank
It's
you.
not true. And I'm especially grateful that you're our first Latino male author to join us. And my hope is that today's conversation encourages more Latino men to pick up that pen, to open up that laptop, to trust their voices, to even record their thoughts and then later put it down on paper, to share that wisdom that comes from their lived experiences.
And don't be scared to make questions.
And don't be scared.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what, but that's why my books exist, because I start asking. I hear that you publish a book. Okay, how'd you do it?
I love it. Well, congratulations on
Yeah,
growing up together, the
thank you,
Chronicles of an Unexpected
thank
Family,
you, Reed.
and your upcoming release of I Belong, This Is Me. I have no doubt that both books will continue to touch lives in very different and equally meaningful ways. And to everyone listening, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank
If
you, Reed.
today's conversation resonated with you, I encourage you to support Emilio's work, share this episode with someone who needs to hear it, and most importantly, never underestimate the power of your own story. So until next time, keep writing, keep reflecting, and keep reimagining what is possible. And the coquis here in Toalta, along with the perritos, are saying, until the next episode of Write, Reflect, Reimagine. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
If today's conversation resonated, I invite you to explore our free webinars, writing retreats in Puerto Rico, and our curated anthologies at Casa de Maria Publisher. Your voice matters. Your story deserves care. Until next time, write with intention and courage. Pen your passion. Publish your promise at Casa de Maria Publisher.